What's up traders, this is Mish from the Opinicus team. Today I'll be showing you guys how to set up your TradingView in order to maximize your day trading experience within this platform. So basically I'm going to take the indicators that I use, show you how to set them up, show you guys how I use them, show you how to adjust them, as well as show you some of the shortcuts that the platform offers just to make your trading experience much quicker and much smoother. And I'll show you guys how I use this grid, and at the very end I'll show you guys the exact steps how to set this grid up from scratch. So be sure to stick around till the end, and I hope you guys find value in this video. So without further ado, this is my trade screen. This is what I use to scan, this is what I use to dissect levels, and this is what I use to day trade off of. So I pretty much have my big time frames here. My daily, I can run my weekly here by typing in 1W. I can type in my monthly here by typing in 1M. So I'll have my big time frames here. I usually just run the daily chart. Then here I have the 15-minute, which also has my Opinicus volume script for relative volume. I'll explain that one in a little bit. And then I can also run the 30-minute here sometimes just to really get in and check out some of these key areas that I need to look for. So that's pretty much that here. I have my daily in the 15. Then this one is my intra area, so I'll have the 5-minute here at all times. And then my 2-minute, which can also be my 1-minute or the 30-second or the 15-second if it's the open. So to pull those up, you just want to type in 30S and it's going to give you the 30-second chart. If you really just want to, break down the price action and see exactly what's happening tick by tick. If you want to get even more in depth, you can type in the 15S, and that's going to bring you up the 15-second chart. So moving forward, the actual indicators that I have on these charts are very simple. It's just moving averages, and on my intras I have VWAP, which is the yellow line that you see. And then I have the 8 moving average, which is just multiplied times whatever time frame you have selected here. So if I had the 1 minute, this is now a 8-minute moving average. If I had the 2-minute, now this is a 16-minute moving average. This is just something I run just to gauge momentum and where it's going. So on my dailies, I run the volume profile, which is these bars that you see here. It just helps me navigate through volume areas on the daily chart or any higher time frame that I use it on. I also use it on my 15-minute. I'll show you guys exactly how to set that up in the very end. And then also on my daily, I run the 200 MA, the 100 MA, the 50 MA, and the 21 MA. These are just very simple indicators that most traders use, and I find them to be very beneficial because they are good reference points. So to set up this type of grid, what you want to do is in your TradingView, you want to open a new tab at the top, click New Chart, and once that loads, you want to click here and select your layout. This is the one I personally use, number 4 with 4 charts. And once you got that loaded, you want to set up your time frames. So here at the bottom, like I said, I like to run my big daily time frames or my weeklies. Here I like to run the 15-minute, and then the 5-minute's already there, so that's good. And then here I'll put the 1-minute. Now the next thing, I don't like how the volume is mixing with the chart, so I'm going to make that its own window. Now the indicators are always going to be displayed here at the top left. So what you want to do is you want to click the 3 dots and then move that to a new pane below. And then we're going to do that with all of them. Once that is done, you can adjust that to be a little smaller if you like. And from there we can start adding our indicators. So to add indicators, you want to go here at the top, click indicator, and first we'll start with the moving average. You just want to type in a regular moving average, not any one of these, but just moving average. And then we can add a bunch of those to the chart. Like you see, I just added 2 by clicking on it. I'm going to add a few more. And then those are all going to be their own things. So 1, I'm going to click and I'm going to make this one the 200-day moving average. And I'll make this one lighter blue. Probably make it a little bit of a thicker line. And then the next one I want to be a 100-day moving average. So make this one purple. And the next one I want to be the 50-day. Make it white or something like beige. Then the next thing, I want a 21-day moving average. And just one small one. I like to have a fast MA. This one, I'll make it really, really light. And I'll probably lower the transparency so that I don't see it too much. But just a good reference for my technical analysis. Now you have the fast MA right there. So next thing is the 15-minute. I want to add a VWAP to it, as well as our proprietary RVOL tool that we only offer to our think tank subscribers. So to add that, you will need permission, but if you do have it, you will be able to add this awesome tool that basically helps you read the RVOL in the markets. So now I'm going to delete the original volume. I don't need that anymore. Now this, if you have access to it, only works if you have your extended trading hours, aka your after hours, disabled. So you want just regular trading hours without after hours. Now you can see all these gray bars are showing us that currently Apple today has been trading on regular volume. However, yesterday when they released news, we had a volume spike, so that means relative volume to the stock was a lot higher. That's why you see it in this green bar. Now, the way this tool works is if we're starting to see some little bit of above average volume, we start to paint these candles in red. If we see a little bit more volume than average, then it's orange, and then it just goes all the way up to light lime green if the volume is insanely high. Like for example, Netflix today reported earnings, so obviously the RVOL is huge. It's colored in lime green, indicating to us that the stock is indeed in play, and this makes my trades a lot safer, and it just validates it to be a better trade if there is more RVOL present, letting me know that there is more traders involved within this name today. So if you guys are interested, I'll provide a link in the description to our write-up that we did on RVOL and how it works, how it's to be used, and how you can benefit from having higher RVOL in the names that you trade, as well as provide a link to the think tank and the script itself. So be sure to look out for that in the description. Now, next thing is we want to add VWAP. I like to have it in all my charts just so I can quickly glance and see what the volume weighted average price is. So to add that, you just want to go back into indicators, click volume weighted average price, or you could search for it if it doesn't come up. And it's going to be volume weighted average price, nothing else. And that is a factory indicator by TradingView. So it comes out like this with extra lines. I personally don't need any of that, so I'm gonna go into my indicators here at the top, click the cog, and then I'm gonna adjust some of these settings. Personally, I don't need the upper band or the lower band, so I'm gonna uncheck those. So now I just have my VWAP, and I want this to be a different color, and lower the opacity a little bit. And also make sure to uncheck the bands fill to get rid of that glow in the background. That should be good to go. Now I could repeat the same procedure in all these charts, or I could just click this indicator to select it, copy it, and then paste via Control V or Command V for Mac users. So boom, pasted it right onto this chart. I'm going to add it to this one as well. And here you go. And by the way, if you ever want to get rid of these indicators, adjust them, or simply hide them for a little bit, like I said, the settings are always going to be at the top here. Like for example, the daily, here are the indicators, here are the hidden. If you click this drop down, they'll show. And here you have each one of the indicators, and you can go and hide them, or you can bring them back. You can click the cog to adjust them. You can bring them to the front, to the back, as far as the visual order, so that they could be behind the bars of the candles, or they can be in front of the bars of the candles. That's all up to you. It's very customizable. And one last thing, if you just want to remove them, you can just click the X and get rid of everything. And by the way, if you accidentally deleted something, what you can do is just click Control Z or Command Z for Mac users and bring those right back. So that's a little nice shortcut that will undo whatever you just did within TradingView. Just realized that I have made an error here, that I didn't have the symbol selected. So I had Apple still showing even though I was showing you guys Netflix here. So now that that's fixed, one last indicator I do want to add is the volume profile. So let's go back into the indicators and search for visible range volume profile. This one right here. Add that to your chart. Now in its factory form, it should look something like this. I personally don't like that, and none of the traders whom I trade with use it like that, so I'm gonna tailor the settings more toward my style. And so go ahead and go into the settings, click the cog here, and in the inputs tab, I'm gonna change the row size to 75, and then the volume tab, I'm gonna change the total. So next we go into style, and then I'm gonna change the width percentage to 50. And I personally like to have my volume profile on the left rather than the right, so I'm going to switch it over to the left. We don't need down volume or value area down, so I'm going to lower the opacity in those just to get rid of them so that they're not showing up on the actual chart. And the point of control, I personally have that gray, and would like to change the up volume to gray as well as the value area up. So now we've set up volume profile, and basically it's just gonna be used to show volume voids. Like here where we have this gap, we have a volume void, so if we potentially start taking that gap, we could see a quick move into the next volume area. So that is something I utilize on the daily, and definitely recommend having volume profile on your charts as well for you guys. Next thing I want to segue into is exactly how I maximized this window, which is going to be the shortcuts of TradingView. So the way I did that is I just clicked Option, because I'm on Mac. Windows users can click Alt or hold down Alt key, and you're just going to click your chart, and it's the same thing as doing this. So you could either maximize your charts by selecting it and then maximizing like that, or you could just maximize it with a click or minimize it with a click by holding down Option or Alt key. So it's a pretty useful feature. That way you can jump in and out of these different charts. Very useful. The next feature I want to show you guys is a drawing tools feature. For those of you guys that like to draw price lines and such. For example, if I wanted to draw in this and identify, let's say, some key levels, maybe I was watching 273, for example. So I want to hover over any price I like and then click Option H or Alt H for Windows users, and it will print a line. So now you have this price line that you can basically double click and you can annotate it and call it support or whatever you want to call it, and the text can appear in any area you would like it to. For example, on the left, right, top, bottom of this line, and you can change the color of the text. You can change the color of the line itself. You could change the type of the line. It could be a dashed line, dotted line, or just a fluid line. And if you like the way this looks, you can actually save this line as a template so that next time you use it, you could just convert that line into the same style. So for example, if we have a posted idea in our think tank, and let's say the entry trigger is 270 and the price target is 275 and 80, I will annotate that on my charts. That way I always know exactly what the price trigger is. So I'm going to add a line there for my trigger, and then add a line there for my price target, and then add another line there for another price target. And then the defaults, and then the templates that I just showed you guys, like if you can save a style of a line to a template, is an example of that would be this. So this is my trigger template, change that line to that. Then this is my price target 1 template, change that to that quickly, and then change that one to my price target 2 template. So now I know that 270 is my entry trigger, and when the price starts approaching 275, I know to sell because that is my price target 1, and then so on. So that's how you can utilize that feature. It's pretty nice. And then if you don't want these drawings to be synchronized across the entire grid, you can unlink, and basically this way, let's delete those drawings. This way, now anytime you draw on this chart, it's not going to transfer over to these. So for example, like I can put a bunch of lines and they're not transferring over to any of these other ones. Now if you did that and you wanted them to be on all of these charts, but you didn't press the link button, you can always right click these same drawings and then click sync and layout. Now we just added that one line into all of these, and then once again you can do that with this one. So pretty nice, pretty good feature. I use that one all the time. And if you just don't want to see these, you can always just hide them by pressing the I right here, and then hide drawings or hide everything, hide indicators and all that stuff. So pretty useful features. And the next one I wanted to show you guys is the Fibonacci retracement. The shortcut for that one is going to be option F, so, or Alt F for Windows users. So I can click that, and as you can see, it selects the Fibonacci tool automatically. So now I just click anywhere on the chart and that pulls it right out, and here it is. So the fibs are pretty much factory. I didn't change anything about them. The only thing I changed here was the colors. I just made everything gray except the 61 and the 50 retracement, and then pretty much unchecked all the other ones that just don't matter to me. So that's another good shortcut that I always utilize. And this last one that I also always utilize is, you see how we have all of these things around our chart. Some of us may not ever utilize these throughout our day. Me, I personally don't ever use any of these since I have all my shortcuts. I don't ever need these physical buttons. So what you can do is you can press Shift F, and now you go into the seamless mode, which in my opinion looks way better, feels way better, and now you have a bigger view of all of your charts. To get out of it, you can just press Escape, or you can press Shift F again. So you can pop in and out of that one by pressing Shift F. And if you want to manually get into it, you can just press this button here at the top, the full screen mode. Alright guys, just to recap the video, I showed you how I set up my exact charting setup. This is what I use on the daily. I showed you guys how to set up all of these indicators, how to adjust them. I've explained exactly why I have them. I've showed you my RVOL tool. That is a proprietary tool that we use at Opinicus. All of the additional information will be in the description. If you guys found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you need more additional info, feel free to find us and reach out on the website opinicusholdings.com, and I'll see you guys in the next one.